Hello, welcome. As we're getting settled in, this is going to be a small group today, so it'll be pretty friendly and just, yeah, just as a starter, if you're in the right place, if you're here at the webinar hacks for retail, you're in the right place. And thanks for taking the time to join. I know there's lots of things going on in everyone's day, and appreciate you being here with us. And then for anyone that has just come in, if I always like to give folks a chance to kind of interact. And sometimes this is a cool thing that happens too, which is if you want to type in where you currently are and your dream vacation, there might be someone else here that is in a place that you want to go to. I'm going to kind of get started just because I really am respectful of everyone's time, and we will end right at the 30-minute mark. With that being said, first off, before, what would a webinar be without a goodie? If you'd like, agnoStack and Knots are giving a really special discount. So we always have a free 14-day trial. Both our organizations want to make sure that you have the chance to use these tools in the right way and make sure they run for your organization. But also for any new clients coming on within Q4 that are in this webinar, we're going to also give 50% off for the first month. So you can do that by using the code automate more. And I think someone from my team will be able to drop that in just so that we don't lose that. Pavi, if you can do that. And then with that being said, on our side, if a little bit about Knots, and what's so exciting about this session is that today we both our organizations are coming together to give you an offering of really automating the task, whether it's for Black Friday or holiday sales, coming up. And at Knots, we really focus on turning manual tasks into automated ones. And um, with that, we uncover the most time-consuming repeatable actions, and we do those actions for you. And I want to say up front that either tool can be used separately, agnoStack or Knots, but it's really together that we are extremely powerful in that combination, which you'll see today. And which gives me a wonderful opportunity for myself to pause and introduce Adam, the CEO of agnoStack, to show you what's really possible. But before that, I do want to give you a little intro to Adam because he's too humble to say it for himself, so I will say it for him. Adam is a retail veteran. He's a frequent speaker across the retail conference circuit. He has over 20 years of experience in e-commerce and customer service. And he's also recognized as an expert in the retail business for transformation and technology specifically. So you're really in the right place. And his background includes running his own e-commerce agency in the past, consulting global retailers like Walmart, Target, Diesel, Abercrombie, some clothes you might have on now, and some brands you really know. And today, as you can guess, he's most well known as the founder of agnoStack, which powers Zendesk official e-commerce integrations for leading platforms including Shopify, BigCommerce, Adobe Commerce, Magneto, WooCommerce, and more. And so, if all that isn't enough, he's also the founder of Keep Small Strong, which is a nonprofit to help small businesses get online. A mouthful. I'll hand it over to Adam now because I think he has some other things to tell you. So thanks, Adam.
Thanks for the kind words, Hasana. It's always humbling to hear somebody else talk about you, but super excited to join the session today. Thanks everyone for hopping on. I know we've got some familiar customers of agnoStack, some familiar customers of Knots, and some new folks who are exploring both of them. As Hassan was sharing, there's a ton of great apps across the Zendesk marketplace for both of the organizations. agnoStack powers Zendesk official commerce integrations with all of the major platforms: Shopify, BigCommerce, Commerce Tools, WooCommerce, Adobe Magento 1, Magento 2, Elastic Path, Salesforce Commerce coming online later this year. And then we hold the flagship app for Zendesk Premium Shopify integration, which is really exciting, and looking forward to sharing a bit more about what we've been up to together. One of the things that a lot of people aren't quite as familiar with on the agnoStack side is the platform itself isn't just about connecting your commerce platform, but essentially allowing you to connect your entire retail back office. So that includes marketing automation, loyalty, ratings and reviews, CRM platforms, empowering your agents inside of Zendesk to be able to access a full 360 view of your customer data, and to actually take action on it. Today, specifically in this hands-on session, we want to show you a bit more about what that taking action means, how you can bring together Knots and agnoStack to do even more with the two platforms. That being said, yesterday was a pretty big day for us collectively. We've been working on bringing together the agnoStack and Knots solution for the last couple of months here, and it officially launched as part of the agnoStack application yesterday. We're going to give you a preview of what that looks like here today, but this is an EAP. If you would like access, you can reach out to the agnoStack support team to get it turned on in your Zendesk subdomain, but we'll actually show you some of the capabilities here on the call for the very first time today. You guys are the first group to see it live and in action.
Awesome. And yeah, so for today, we're gonna basically we'll show you how to save some time using these AI ticket autofill, integrating actionable items, and then also after that, so after we kind of show and tell some of the tech, Adam's going to be kind enough to share some Q4 things you can be ready for that you can just implement for free right away. And then I'm going to show you how you can do our set up our free merge ticket app and what that looks like and how companies benefit from that. And then we'll just open up for Q&A. So we had a little bit of a late start, so I just want to make sure that we kind of zoom along a little bit, and I'll let Adam jump into the next parts here.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Are you guys seeing the Knots AI autofill screen up? Awesome. Fantastic. So I know that when we were talking about coming into the session, we were mentioning this is a hands-on session. We want to have a lot of conversation here back and forth. But as importantly, we want to show you some real actionable things that you can take away and do something with right now. You're about to see the quickest, simplest way to integrate the two platforms, which is bringing together the Knots AI autofill capabilities with agnoStack's pin order functionality. But before we do, I know there are some people on here who are not familiar with agnoStack. So just to take you through a little bit of that for anybody who hasn't seen or isn't familiar with agnoStack, we essentially extend the entire agent workspace for the human agents. I used to just be able to say agents, but for your humans to be able to look up order details, check on shipping status, see an integrated timeline, look at extended data, all of your rich order related information, plus the ability to actually process refunds right from within there, refund to original form of payment, and even the ability to do net new order capture or replacement orders. So really extending the entire Zendesk agent experience to bring in all of the rich order management capabilities that you may be looking for. We also allow you, as I said, to connect that whole retail back office, bring in Klaviyo, Yotpo, Revo related data, give your agents an entire 360 view of all of your customer activities. So that's all I'll share about agnoStack. If anybody wants to learn more, we'll give you a good way to get in touch with the wider team. But I do want to go back. The Knots AI autofill ability to integrate with agnoStack is probably one of the most powerful features out there. So I'm going to go ahead and show you, presuming that you have both of these applications installed. I'll take a look at the Zendesk Marketplace app for the Knots AI ticket autofill combined with the Shopify Premium for agnoStack solution. And essentially what this allows you to do is inside of the setup for the Knots solution, you can connect it up to populate ticket fields. So if you've created a custom ticket field inside of Zendesk, or if you're using the pre-built one that comes out of the box with agnoStack, you can grab that ticket field from there. And then 2 steps to this. This is a 5-minute setup that is completely game-changing. You go into the agnoStack application itself. Inside of there is the ability to connect agnoStack to a custom ticket field. You paste in that ticket ID. It's as simple as that. You click update and activate. That's the agnoStack kind of half of the equation. The second piece is inside of the Knots AI autofill. You can go ahead and create a new rule for something like, help me find the order ID. A simple example of what that looks like in your commerce platform, 1004 or anything like that in the case of Shopify. And then I want to go ahead and populate that ticket field that I just hooked agnoStack up to. So I'll go ahead and choose that Shopify order ID, save and activate this inside of Knots. And that's it. That is in real time, actual configuration here of what that stuff looked like. And then what you'll see is I now had a ticket that came in from a customer. I need help with order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The AI autofill from a Knot side has gone ahead and pre-filled that order ID. And then in agnoStack, as soon as the agent opens up that ticket, you've automatically gone straight to the order detail screen. So the very first piece of, how can you incredibly quickly bring together these two pieces, grab the Knots AI autofill capabilities, integrate that with the agnoStack order ID field. And it's as simple as that. A 5-minute setup, really, really powerful from, reducing your handle time for agents. All right, I'm going to go ahead and keep moving in here. Again, if there are any questions as we go through, feel free to put them in the chat here, and we're happy to have a deeper conversation on those. The second piece that I want to show you is the fun stuff. This one in particular is not only new to the fact that we just launched our integration with Knots, but it is actually a brand new piece of functionality coming to the agnoStack platform called Actionable Options. And it is available for the first time only for customers who are using Knots. So this piece itself actually allows you to extend agnoStack in a way that's never been possible before. So as you go into an order detail view, one of the things that we often see, so by default, there's a drop-down menu on an order where an agent can say, I want to go ahead and share that to a customer, mark as paid. What we're going to show you how to do is actually add a custom option in there. I want to go and do something like classify the line items on this order. And I want that data to bring in the order information from agnoStack through your Shopify setup, and then have that flow through into Knots in order to go and populate something like a tag on that order with the fact that it's apparel. I'm not going to walk through all the detailed technical side of this, but there's two real pieces to it. On the Knots Studio side of the world, this is the brand new piece. This actually allows you through Knots to add data to show up inside of agnoStack. And then in there, you can create whatever custom options that you want, and the Knots team can help you set this stuff up in your environment. And then what we're going to do is actually use the Knots Flow engine to use AI to look at that order information and categorize it. Really as simple as that. So we can show you the sample workflow as part of the retail audit afterwards, help you get this set up in your account. But we're going to go in, we're going to use the AI classifier. We're going to use that to process the order data that comes in from agnoStack. And then we're going to go and update Zendesk to populate a ticket field with that information. The setup on this stuff is unbelievably quick, and the power of what you can do is absolutely incredible. So I want to go ahead and, populate a Zendesk ticket field with that information, publish the workflow, grab some data, configure that up inside of agnoStack. This is as simple as it is. You'll see that brand new Knots integration available in agnoStack, and it takes just a few seconds to set up in there. The real power of this isn't just the example that I gave. So it's not about, can we create a, classify line items action or anything like that inside of agnoStack. The concept is for a bunch of retailers, there's all sorts of unique use cases that you may want. We see things like generating a return shipping label. I want my agent, now that I know that somebody has requested a return, we moved into the process to actually go call a third-party API using Knots Flow engine, generate that shipping label, and then update the ticket to actually send that to the customer. This enables that. I want to do something like go ahead and ship out an order. I want to integrate from here into my NetSuite environment. I want to put an order on hold. I want to kick off and trigger a workflow. This is an open-ended opportunity to imagine all sorts of different scenarios to extend Zendesk. And it's available, like I said, in EAP as of yesterday. So hope you appreciate the sneak peek. Looking forward to digging in a bit more. but I'll go ahead and hand it back to Hassan to continue on from here.
Thanks, Adam. And yeah, I think just, again, some really cool stuff. I think out of everything that we think about, just keep in mind that the agnoStack and the Knots team is here to really do setup and make sure these things run smoothly. I think the power of it, as a guy that does, I'm much more business oriented than tech oriented. I always like to talk about the final outcomes. And, with agnoStack and Knots, the really beautiful thing is that we really think about the time that it saves per ticket, right? And then we're talking about errors as well and things like that. So when we're generating return shipping labels or, process order shipment and automating that, it's really saving your team lots of time and errors and also heartache. So we can look at things with a ticket. Easiest calculation that I would say to do, just kind of back of the paper math, is think about how many tickets you have, take a full look at the processes you have in place and how many minutes they take. What could life be like if it was automated? And then multiply that by the hourly wage you pay folks. So when you take that to a year, really the possibilities are endless, right? Even if you have anywhere from 5,000 tickets to 60,000 tickets. Some companies we work with personally have 500,000 plus tickets a month. So just again, it's your calculations. We're here, and we're here to help with that. I also, before I zoom ahead too much, we want to give you value, right? Like no matter what that you're here, we want to give you value and give you preparation for Q4. So with that being said, Adam's going to give you some of his hot takes to talk through and to let you absorb some chances to improve.
Thanks, Hassan. Yeah, this is really straightforward. Hassan and I are always big believers in anytime somebody spends the time hopping on one of these, what can you take away from it that's really actionable? There are five big things that I don't see enough retailers making use of. Some of them are hot off the press. Some of them are, laggards behind. Happy to dig into these in more detail in some follow-up sessions. But quick answers, essentially Zendesk built-in AI capabilities to surface your knowledge base stuff to your agents. This just became generally available to all agents in Zendesk. I think it was last week. So if you're not using this stuff yet, talk to your Zendesk rep, get it enabled in your account. That's an easy one. The 2-for-1 in the box special, we just did another webinar around prepping for holiday readiness. And from one of our other partners, Revo in the mix, their COO, James, they showed us a opportunity around, what could you do with barcodes, which have been around forever, but nobody's ever done anything useful. The idea of, for during holiday time, how do you get two potential customers for every one purchase, the gifter and the giftee? An amazing opportunity, stamp a barcode, a QR code inside of your box to sign up for a loyalty platform. Not just the purchaser, but actually get the giftee themselves. A ton of other stuff in here. Enable the, actionable option stuff inside of agnoStack. Authenticated messaging. This is a huge one. The Zendesk web widget itself actually allows you to automatically pre-sign in a customer, so you don't have to ask them for their email address or first name or last name. We just don't see enough people in the retail ecosystem turning this stuff on. Intelligent triage with intents. Another piece, I think Thomas from the team over at Premium Plus just published a great article in his internal note newsletter. If you're not subscribed to that, take a peek at that. Really, really great one in there. And then if you want to roll forward, last but not least, just the piece that we talked about earlier in here, go ahead and turn on the autofill order ID stuff. It takes less than 5 minutes bringing together the two platforms itself, but real game changer.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam. And I again, I want to make sure we get to Q&A so folks can actually ask. I had a little bit of like show and tell for this, but long story short, we have a free merge ticket app from Knots, and we set that up for you for free again. We are happy to help with that from start to finish. And what it does is if you have lots of, multiple people sending messages about a certain situation, it'll be automatically merged for you. It's really self-explanatory, but again, we're here to help you with that. So I just want to make sure to open up the floor for Q&A. I know we went through a lot, but in the last minutes, I just want to see if anyone has any questions about some of the things we shared or things that you might want to know. Um, so I know again that time is kind of coming short here at the end. So what I would just end with is, again, knots, we have an overwhelming amount of possibilities for automating things. Lisa will be sending up follow-ups to everyone in this session as well as the recording. We'll kind of also, I'll edit it up a little bit so that way there's, nothing that any of you asked will show up and you'll just kind of be able to stop and pause and look back at that. agnoStack has all these possibilities, a real innovator and trusted source in the retail space. So happy to do this with them. And then also, you have this coupon code. We're here to help. Now, if you are in the retail space, or Lisa, we're really inclusive here. So again, I want to share a link which will give everyone access to our entire team globally. And if you're not in retail, just think of it as a free, automation readiness audit. And that's our time for free to go with you and walk through your processes. And just as a thank you for joining this, and really appreciate folks that came and took time with us today. So want to say thank you. And I think Adam and I will stick around for a little bit, but thank you all again for the time. Really appreciate it.